Daring Abroad, brought to you by our friends at Remitly. Download the Remitly app to send money back home.
Warm greetings from Chams Media. I hope your Easter holiday is cool. And today on the show, we pitch tent in the UK. And to know where we will be, take a look at the highlights.
We've featured her before, a choreographer, event organizer, and now media personality. Her name, Lydia Tett Olet. We check in on the UK-based businesswoman and her latest venture as she interviews the interviewer, Alex Chamwada, in her London studios.
So introduce yourself.
Wow, Lydia, I've been looking forward to coming here.
We talk about health, we talk about food, we talk about everything.
Also on the show, from Liverpool, we are not walking alone. Zion Bugwa gives us a tour of the University of Liverpool, where he is pursuing a degree in aerospace engineering.
People have a lot of anxiety when it comes to studying abroad. It's not as hard or as painful as people might think.
We begin in London, where I met Lydia Tett Olet, an influential Kenyan with many attributes. She's an artist, she's an influencer, she's a media personality, and this was my interaction with her in her studios. 5 p.m. local time, a rare moment as I prepare for an interview at Omega Live Studios in London. Usually, I'm the one doing interviews, but today I'm the guest. My host, London-based artist and digital content producer Lydia Tett Olet.
You even have a shirt with your name on it. Your shirt with your name. But do I say?
Before I knew it, we were live.
1, 2, 3, action.
Did you ever, because we have a lot of people who will say, I knew I'll be this, I was determined I'll be this, I was, did you ever think that, one day, this is, or did it just happen? Because unajua watoto wengine kuanga na vision ahead. So are you one of those children who had vision ahead, or it just happened?
I had passion to be a broadcaster, but when I was growing up, I wanted to be behind the microphone, to be a continuity announcer on radio. I admired the late Gladys Erude, Tido Muhando, who used to be on BBC. There are many, Sophie Clay on KBC, she's part of those who mentored me, apart from James Maura. Little did I know that I would eventually be on TV or traveling all over the world. I was seeing that radio. That was where my ambition was.
Yes.
But of course, I got a chance to start doing the voluntary job for KBC, grew, and when Royal Media Services began, they began with the Radio Citizen. I was the first reporter of Radio Citizen. Of course, there were presenters, so many of them. Granton Samboja was there as a presenter, the late Mohamed Juguna. TV Citizen began later, so I was also among the first ones. One thing leads to another. Kitchen took me up in 2001. Now that's when I started really going up in TV reporting. So that's how I grew from radio to television reporting. I was at KTN for 7 years, then went back to Citizen, then I resigned in 2014 to begin my own productions.
I'm so happy that you're actually taking us through the process, because what happens is some people, either they don't care about the process, they don't know the process, they're not interested in the process, they just want the final product.
They want to be like Chamwada.
They want to be,
they want, from college. They
exactly,
want to be,
but they don't know the process that you went through.
Yes.
It's been a journey for me to be here. I think I've been here for 1 year now and plus, but the studio itself started 2016. We talk about health, we talk about food, we talk about everything.
Stand Out, Speak Up is one of her shows, her very own creation.
I campaign against domestic violence. I know somebody will say, oh yeah, because you're a woman. It's not because I'm a woman. It's because those are subjects or topics that nobody actually talks about or captures. So I deal more with domestic violence, child molestation, child abuse, child trafficking, so things like that. And that's why I thought stand out, speak up would be best.
So what motivated you to start doing this?
Is the way I saw women being treated, especially in my country where I come from, Kenya. I see there's a lot of women rep, okay? But personally, and this is just my opinion, I don't see anything they rep when it comes to girl child. There's a lot of girl child, especially 2020 when it was COVID. We saw a lot of girls from the age of 10 who got pregnant. A lot of them got pregnant, some from their own biological parents, some from their brothers. So now let me ask you, where are these women rep? What was their responsibility? Okay, so because of that, I said, you know what? I'll use my voice, even if it's only one person that I'm going to save. I've saved somebody. Because even the Bible says that leave the 99 and save that one. So if my voice is going to save only one, I'll use that voice. And that's why I thought stand out, speak up. So it's encouraging girls to actually speak up and stand out.
So your main show here is Stand Out, Speak Up.
Yeah.
Do you have other shows?
Yes, Omega Live does a lot of shows. So every day from Monday to Monday, like every 3 times a day or 4 times a day, sometimes depends with how the stories roll. We do a lot of stories. We always make sure that every story we do is educational, either motivational, transformational, or entertainment. So we do all things. So political as well. So we actually mix and match so that it suits every single viewer.
Lydia's viewership is international. This is largely due to the studio's online presence.
Omega Live is YouTube. We're on YouTube and we're also on Facebook. And we also have a website.
So how do you sustain it? Is this for business?
Yes, actually it is business oriented. So we do have, when we're telling the stories, we have a lot of advertisements. So it's commercialized. So we have a lot of advertisements. People come and see, because we do have a lot of presenters. So every presenter sometimes brings business as well. So we do have a lot of presenters, and every show we have advertisements in every show. So now, Alex Chamwada, how was your upbringing? Your parents, your siblings? Are you the only child? Do you have other siblings?
I'm from a relatively huge family, so to speak. And when it comes to manpower, Omega Live is well spread.
We have 3 different studios here in the UK, but this one is the main one. So we have the youths as well, because we're trying to train the youths so that tomorrow, when we can't do this, the youths will take over. So we also have the youths that we are training. So in total, I would say we have more than 35 or 40 people that are working with us.
Pick maybe one of the biggest shows or most watched or something that was big out of all this.
When they were celebrating the Queen passing, that was very big, when they're celebrating the Queen's passing, because my producers are actually Ghanaians. So we do more of a Ghanaian things as well, more than any other African country, even though we are spread, we're global. So when the Queen passed, we actually went in the streets and there was big celebration, and that was watched globally by millions of people.
Omega Live has also a strong religious programming.
You know, in an African setting, or black people really, we so much believe in Christianity. We also have a bishop that when he's on studio, he have thousands and thousands of people watching. And that just shows you how much people out there are thirsty for the word of God.
Since starting her media journey over a year ago, Lydia has been able to grow her presenting skills without any formal training.
I wouldn't say I'm a journalist. I've never even gone to journalist school or anything. But you know, sometimes in life, there are some people who are just gifted, natural gift, or talented, or they just have the natural skills. I would say that, because that's why sometimes you see people grow and you give a mic to a child and they will sing like somebody who they've not been trained or nothing. It's because they have that naturally. So I would say I have, just talking about contents, I'm a creative person. So that's just a natural gift.
Now, a bit of a backgrounder. Lydia is a professional traditional dancer, having received her training from African Heritage Limited, a dance company co-founded by the late Alan Donovan, a renowned artist and designer of American descent. Through him, she got exposed to life abroad, and in 1994, she moved to the UK. Since then, Lydia has been facilitating workshops through her company, Malaika Dance Unique.
I'll call myself an entrepreneur, so I do a lot of different things. I wear so many different hats. Some of them are actually totally opposite from each other, and you're thinking, this one is going this way, this one's going this way. Example, I'm also an insurance advisor. I do insurance, okay? So for me, what I do is I look for problems, where problems are. I find solutions, and I just pray to God to help me execute them. So if I see, so that is how I entered also in insurance, because I saw there's a lot of people, especially in diaspora, they die. After they've died, it's about either WhatsApp or GoFundMe, and then they leave their families in worse situations. So I was thinking, what can I do to bring a difference? So I said, okay, you know what? Let me start with insurance. So that's how I ventured into that. And also my voice, I have a voice and I have a following. Why can't I use it? So yeah, Omega Live. That's why I ventured into that. So I'm also in the movies. I do Nollywood movies. I go to schools. I do facilitate African workshops. So I'm into everything, even though some of them are like this.
Despite her busy lifestyle, Lydia always finds time for her passion projects, the major one being Kenya and Friends in the Park, an annual event that takes place in London and brings together Kenyans, institutions and organizations based in Kenya and abroad, as well as other communities for a day of fun, learning, networking, connecting and investing.
Kenyans and Friends in the Park has been a journey from 2015, and you've been to Kenyan Friends in the Park, so you've seen the success of Kenyan Friends in the Park. So as much as you have people who love you, but you also have haters. So how do you deal with challenges, and how do you deal with haters as we finish?
One is to really ignore so much that you don't have to keep bothering about people, your haters, it will just bother you for nothing. Back to studio, and any time with Lydia on air is winding down.
Thank you so much for coming to the studio. I am so privileged. I do not take this for granted. So I'll just say thank you so much.
What an experience, and what a milestone for Lydia as her star continues to shine here in London.
Did you show their faces, their names?
Yeah, faces, names. Hey, man.
Tell me they came for you.
I used to hide. Great, changing roles from one host to another, and mine is to congratulate the Eastleigh native on her achievement and wish her all the best in her journey.
This was a different platform because I had a very important and special person in the studio today. So I'll say thank you very much once again. And like we always say, it can only be God. So love you all. See ya. Bye-bye. Quite an inspiring story, and many thanks, Lydia Tett Olet, for sharing your story. We now take a short break. When we return,
people have a lot of anxiety when it comes to studying abroad. It's not as hard or as painful as people might think.
We will take you to the University of Liverpool, where we met Zion Mbugua, who is studying aerospace engineering.
With Remitly, you can send money to Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and over 40 other African countries with low or no fees, so more money gets home. Loved ones can receive their money through familiar options like MTN, M-Pesa, First Bank, Access Bank, and more. Plus, an ever-expanding network of bank deposit, mobile money, and cash pickup availability. You will also get real-time transfer updates so you know where your money is through the whole transfer process. Download the Remitly app today and get a special offer on your first transfer.
You're watching Daring Abroad, brought to you by our friends at Remitly. Download the Remitly app to send money back home.
Welcome back. Time now for a walk through the University of Liverpool with Zion Mbugua, who is studying aerospace engineering. It's been 2 years since Zion Mbugua landed in Liverpool to pursue his passion. Zion is an aerospace engineering student in his second year of studies. He had always dreamt of pursuing the course while at Pioneer School in Muranga County, where he attended his high school education.
I enjoyed sciences and maths when I was in high school, so I knew when I finished I'd like to do engineering, but I wasn't sure what engineering to do. So being able to do flying before I joined university helped to get a bearing. That's why I decided to do aerospace, because aerospace is also like a really growing sector. A lot of aircrafts are coming out. I was flying at Wilson Airport for a few months. So I was doing my fast license and I flew like 8 hours and I finished my ground exam. So all I needed was to fly like 30 more hours, then I'd have my fast license. But I wasn't able to do that because school started. I was supposed to come immediately I finished high school, but we saw the fees was just a bit too much and I could just go and do the same course in KU and pay much less, because I got a good grade in high school, so I was like government sponsored in the university at home, so it was much cheaper.
That was how Zion joined Kenyatta University.
It's like one of the few schools in Kenya that have the course, and the reason I decided to change was the course that when I was doing it in KU, I didn't feel like I was doing aerospace engineering. I felt like I was just doing a normal engineering, which wasn't the point. So my dad was like, don't you think it's better to do it abroad? And yeah, we did all the applications with UNISERV and I came here.
Yes, UNISERV is an international education consultancy firm with offices in Nairobi. That's where Zion went for guidance as he made applications for studies in the UK.
I did the application process, then they look through your transcripts, so your high school transcripts. They even ask for university transcripts like I did, since I did university for a bit. Then afterwards, if they do accept you, they just send you the application letter and give you all the details. So lucky enough with UNISERV, the whole application is free. You just need to pay for the visa. You also need to pay for the English test, because they need to confirm that you know how to speak and write in English. And that's about it.
Zion was also required to get insurance and have enough funds in his bank accounts to cover tuition, accommodation, and living expenses for at least 1 year of studies. This came to about 3 million Kenya shillings. With that in place, Zion left Kenya for the UK.
So I actually joined in 2020. Personally, for international students, when you're joining a UK school, they require you to do foundation year. So I did my foundation in this college, 2020 to 2021. So I'm actually going to my second year, and my first lecture is today actually. Yeah, after my second year, I have another year, so I should be finishing in 23. So this is the electrical engineering building.
Which one in particular?
This.
Zion depends a lot on the International Student Services Department at the University of Liverpool for guidance. Kevin Richardson is in charge of the department, which is involved in making assimilation to life in the UK easy for international students.
We're a pathways programme, so essentially that means that students come to us before they start at the University of Liverpool, so it's really exciting. We get lots of students from all over the world, lots from the Middle East, lots from China and Japan, but of course lots from Africa as well. Essentially from the first day, students come to us, but they are part of the wider campus. They get a student card. It means that they can use the libraries, they can use all the facilities, because from that day one, even though they're at the college, they can use the wider campus, and that hopefully instills and fosters a togetherness that they are Uni of Liverpool already.
On average, in the UK, international students make up about 20% of the total student population. When it comes to cities, London has the highest number of these students, given that the city has over 40 colleges and universities. Currently, there are about 700,000 international students in the UK. This is due to the quality of the kingdom's education system.
It's more hands-on. Back home, I felt like there was so much theory that I was being pumped with, and I didn't even know what the theory relates to. Plus, there's a lot of help from the faculty. The teacher's always there if you need them. They give you their email addresses, they tell you their office, seek them whenever you need help. They're always willing to help you.
In addition to this, the University of Liverpool has a vast infrastructure and world-class amenities suitable for academicians.
You can get to experiment with lots of stuff. Like my course, in my first year I was able to do flight simulation. So they had a flight simulator in the school. They're able to get on and play around with an instructor, of course. Yeah, there's also lots of other societies that can help you with that. So currently I'm in the Space Society, and we're looking to send a satellite into space by next year. So that's not something I would have gotten if I was back home.
Let's now talk balance. According to Zion, studying in the UK has another advantage: work experience.
When you come, they do give you like a residence permit. It's like a sort of ID card. And on it says that during term time, so that's like when you're currently in school, you can only work 20 hours a week. But over your holiday, you can work up to 40 hours. So it's just when you're in school, you can work 20 hours. And yes, I do work. So what I used to do is I used to use an agency. So agency work is like, I could go on the app, I see if a shift is available, and if it's at a time that's good for me, I take it. So most of the time I do night shifts or over the weekend, because that's when I'm more free. So I mainly used to work so we have a big shopping center, it's called Tesco. So I used to work as a stock replenishment. So basically what you do is you just put stuff on the shelves really and just arrange them.
This helped the Riara alumnus to get extra funding, given that he is currently not on scholarship.
Getting scholarships for undergraduate is really hard because one, they feel like since it's an undergraduate thing, you might not be exactly sure that you want to do it. So like a lot of undergraduates back out. So getting an undergraduate scholarship was really hard. But I did try. I'm still also looking to see if I can find any along the way. Yeah, just to help. So also you can either get a scholarship after your second year, you do internships like for my course. So if you do an internship at a company and they see like you're performing well, you're doing your job well, they can offer to finish payment for you for your school. Then afterwards you go back and work for them. So that's also something I'm looking towards.
So far, Zion is happy with where he is and what he has achieved while in Liverpool. He plans to take full advantage of this opportunity even after graduation.
I do want to do engineering, working on aircrafts and everything, but as well I'd like to be a pilot, so I'd like to do both. So first I'll do an engineer, get a job, get some money, then with the money I get, I fund myself to do flying.
But even with his personal ambitions, Kenya is still on his mind.
So I do plan to come back in Kenya at some point in time. But first I want to get a lot of work experience elsewhere and invest back in Kenya. So when I do come back, I'll have the work experience.
And as he continues his scholarly journey, this is his parting shot.
There's a lot of anxiety. Like people have a lot of anxiety when it comes to studying abroad. It's not as hard or as painful as people might think. It's actually quite easy once you come and like just learn the ways. But then it's also not too easy because you're going to be living by yourself. You need to be responsible, you need to watch your expenses, you need to get a job just to sort of help around. But other than that is, if you find a good university you like, try applying for it, start working on things like your CV much earlier, have a lot of like oral interviews with yourself or a friend, because it really helps. And just study a bit of the culture before you come. But other than that, it's actually something I'd recommend. If you want to study abroad, please do it. It's going to help you lots.
Congratulations to Zion Mbugua, and as you heard there, he has quite big dreams. Remember, I graduated from the same university, that is about 17 years ago. On that note, we come to the end of the show. On behalf of my team at Chams Media and our broadcasting partner, NTV, many thanks for watching, and let's do it again next time.
Daring Abroad, brought to you by our friends at Remitly. Download the Remitly app to send money back home.